Sounds wonderful. I have one question.
Yes.
Like the muscles right here
Mm-hmm.
and everything.
Yep.
My upper cervical first adjustment, when I did that, I called them the ping pong balls.
Yep.
For forever, I've had
Knots.
and way before the dental work and all this different stuff, there was such a release from doing that
Yep.
for this. And I'm going to continue with the upper cervical.
Great.
It's just the,
I think you should.
yeah, it's just the beginning. I know because my regular chiropractor just got to the point where he could not adjust at all.
We're about to make it a little easier for them.
Well, you can do whatever you want. You can carve your initials in my arm with a dental tool if it gives me some kind of, you know. But it's just the opportunity to have a different approach instead of going down the gentamicin thing.
Yeah.
Or
More
because,
pharmaceuticals, yeah.
Yeah, it's...
There's a physical component here. What brought you in?
I am searching for alternatives to having a gentamicin injection in my ear.
Okay.
And going down that road.
That's a good reason to be here.
Yes. My Meniere's, I was diagnosed at the end of 2019. And was...
So 7 years ago?
7 years ago,
okay.
Right.
Okay.
And my first ENT, after they made the diagnosis and everything, he said, I'm referring you to a surgeon. And I said, oh, no. And found another ENT just with his help. I'd read about beta histine and wanted to try it, but this first ENT would not prescribe it. So I found another ENT in the medical center who did. And so I was taking beta histine twice a day, like 8 milligrams. And that really seemed to help. I had episodes, but they could be very far in between.
Okay.
And then 22, 23, you know, the last 6 months or whatever, of 22 and into 23, I had to have dental work done. The 6 crowns. I have a thing about dentists, sorry.
That's okay.
He would give me gas. I mean, that was the main criteria. Will you give me gas?
Sure.
Because, and as that has progressed, it seems like my symptoms have gotten worse.
Okay.
We took a month-long trip last year up into the mountains, Yellowstone, Idaho. Never had a bit of problems. Okay. Another trip in 23, never had a bit of problems.
Okay.
But since the end of July of last year, I've gotten much more of the vertigo episodes, intense vertigo episodes, and my ENT upped my beta histine, and then we upped it again at the 1st of September, and he put me on Ativan to kind of smooth them out. But I've started having clusters of them, and with the clusters, the Ativan, I can always tell when the bad ones are coming. You know, I can feel a little off and go, okay, this may be one coming. I better take an Ativan. Totally. But when the bad ones are coming, it's like whiplash. It's like pow or pow or something like that. And I've definitely I have to go to bed every time I have a vertigo thing.
For sure.
Throwing up is become more common. After September, when I had an episode in September the 2nd, and my ENT upped my beta histine, put me on Valium. That's when I learned to carry a fanny pack and have everything in there.
Yep.
Throw it back, everything.
You never know when it's going to...
And you know, because you don't know.
Yep.
And so that was helping me catch them a little bit earlier.
Okay.
And everything. But the last couple of ones that I've had, say over... Oh yeah, and in September I got my first steroid shot through my ear, which was great. It was just like, wow, I like this. And then I had a bad episode October the 19th. The 23rd I had another steroid shot, and seemed, it wasn't pleasant, but I could handle.
Helps with the inflammation a little bit.
Yeah. But like the episodes, they weren't, I was still having them, but not as intense.
Okay.
And then this start of this year, it's just been
time to do something else.
It's time to do something else. I've looked at the videos from Dr. Sutter for a couple of years.
Very good.
And was really interested in what I was seeing. Yeah, what I was seeing, and think this may need to be an option for me.
Yeah, for sure.
So I started on vestibular rehab. I got my primary to sign me up.
Okay.
And so I started that at the beginning of January. So because gentamicin was still on the table.
Right.
And after the last couple of clusters, I said, I'm not, I want to try something else before I do have to really say gentamicin's my only option.
Gotcha.
And everything. Because I know with gentamicin, the side effects are you can stay chronically dizzy.
Right.
And everything. And so where do you weigh?
Exactly. So when is the last time you had an episode?
Throw up episode or just episode?
Both.
Yesterday.
Okay.
I took
What time of day was it?
in the afternoon.
Okay.
I felt a little dizzy that morning, but I passed through it and everything. But I had to take medicine and lay down. I have to sleep a lot afterwards. Like if I clustered, then I have to sleep for a couple of days, pretty much.
Yep. To give the muscles time to respond.
Yes.
How are you feeling today? Do you think?
Honey, I took an antibiotic before I came, just so I make sure that I could
absolutely
get through this and everything without a possibility. But I've got all my tools in my
And
puss.
that's one of the reasons we try to preempt everything to give you a heads up about the diagnostics themselves. We're going to be using a lot of the muscles that are probably already strained.
Okay.
So with Meniere's disease in particular, the variables are the compartment spaces that contribute to ear problems. Okay, so when they do a steroid injection, you point it to your left side.
Yeah,
is that
this is the ear they do. It's this ear.
So have you ever had any symptoms on the other side?
As far as I know, not.
Okay, good. And when you said you had dental work, you pointed to your right side.
Because this side, okay, I only have one wisdom tooth.
Okay.
And so I was never born with the other three. So
Lucky you.
Yeah, lucky me. Middle sister has no wisdom teeth.
I'm in the club.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yay. But when I feel like something's going on in here, I have allergies. I was taking allergy shots.
That can contribute.
Yes, for years, since 06 or something, one in each arm.
Yeah.
And everything. And so I would always put this down, the pain on both sides, down to my allergies. My sinuses are filling up or whatever. And this up in here would hurt. And so I have my Q-tip with Orgel on.
Yeah.
Yeah, and get the pain to stop.
Yeah.
And everything. And then when this side does it some, but this side, sometimes it's like, it's so tight. And I put the floss thing through, and once I get it through, have to go slow. It's like,
Really?
oh yeah, it's just like,
Relief.
it's utter relief and everything. And it's like 3 of these teeth right up in here.
Okay.
And then I get that, get that up and get them work a little bit, pressure off. And it's just it's just like, it's almost like the gas. It's just like,
Well, what it is it's relief. It's releasing tension. when you do that.
Yeah.
There's a force contact there. And the best way for me to describe it is when you bite your back teeth together, you know that there are peaks and valleys. There's ridges.
Oh, yeah.
Okay. So if there's a contact when you're closing and clenching into your bite, that causes a forward directed force, or conversely, if it's a front tooth pushing backwards, it can push teeth together.
Okay.
And when that force is happening, it can be tough to get that floss in between those two teeth because they're pushing against each other.
Oh, yeah.
But as soon as you get the floss through, it releases the tension. And I know, so that is a sign of an area that we want to pay attention to.
Okay.
And you can probably guess by now that we're talking full picture here, big picture, the whole arch, left and right,
Sure.
front and back.
Sure.
And so even if you had a few crowns done on the right side, your symptoms may be related to a motion that's causing symptoms in your left.
I had crowns done on both sides.
Okay.
So
we're going to evaluate all of that.
Okay.
And in the diagnostics here in a bit, we're going to get a formal diagnosis on your TMJs, the noises they're making.
Okay.
We're going to get a formal diagnosis of your bite, both in closure and in sideways and forward motions.
Okay.
Okay, that's where disclusion time reduction comes in, is that I presume, based on your history, that the crowns went in and then you started noticing there was a correlation, or seemed to be a correlation.
Seemed to be more of a correlation between what was going on up here and everything else.
So we're going to measure that.
Okay.
Okay. And it's not uncommon for us to find contacts on the dental crowns that need to be adjusted, that are interferences to your range of motion.
Mm-hmm.
The basic premise behind DTR therapy is that we're calibrating the bite so that it is not limiting your range of motion of your mandible. So when your mandible is doing its thing, whether you're aware of it or not, there's bound to be contacts that we can measure that are contributing to muscle tension. All right. So when you talk about muscle tension, you talk about muscle tone. All right.
Mm-hmm.
So Arnold Schwarzenegger in the gym, he's getting stronger toned muscles. Okay. The tone of the muscle is a way to describe the tension at rest that muscle is experiencing. If there is an imbalance between the left and the right muscles that are controlling your jaw movement, it can lead to compartment pressure and nerve stimulation in the ear where the symptoms are. Okay. So the basic gist behind DTR therapy and an approach to address Meniere's disease symptoms is to calibrate the bite into a more balanced bite that allows those muscles to relax and then allows the body to balance itself. So we're not treating Meniere's disease directly.
I understand that. Oh, yeah.
It's a treat the bite and then give the muscles a few days or a week to respond, and that's where the bumpy ride can be. So with Meniere's disease in particular, especially at that first appointment, the way we structure our appointments is today's is a diagnostic appointment. Mm-hmm. We get to know each other a little bit, get down to some basics, and then in the other room we're going to get your specific details with your data to take the Q&A to a different level, because I want you to make sure that we have addressed all of your questions, concerns, and everything prior to getting started. But the first DTR appointment, I like to have 2 hours for, primarily because it gives us more time for question and answer.
Okay.
But it'll also give you a chance after the diagnostics to ask questions on a level that you might not be thinking about it right now.
Okay.
Because you'll have a better understanding of the thought process behind DTR, the diagnostic side of it, and also the treatment, what it is that we're targeting when we're trying to relax the tone, the chronic tone of an identified muscle. And that takes a diagnosis across a few different tools in order to confirm, and typically that diagnosis is going to be related to the pterygoid muscles. So I have a diagram on my website. I'll show you in 3D where the pterygoid muscles are and why they're such an important part of the equation. When it comes to the DTR protocol itself, we use the T-scan, but we also hook up EMGs to the masseters and the temporalis. Mm-hmm. So when you see those videos and those patients have the leads hooked up to their head, those are measuring the masseters and the temporalis. Those are not measuring the pterygoid muscles.
Okay.
So the emphasis behind the EMG is to show that the muscle tone and activity is related to the bite.
Okay.
So when we see that there's a malocclusion or a bad bite contact, and we connect that to a muscle strain that we can measure, then we adjust the contact and the muscle no longer is strained. It's demonstrating a correlation between the bite and the muscle tension.
Okay.
Our goal is to calibrate the bite in an iterative process, little by little, and refine it and refine it and refine it until your head and neck muscles achieve a balance where your Meniere's disease symptoms are fewer and further between. We're talking about frequency, intensity, duration. One of the other caveats that we always are sure to share with patients who are interested in DTR therapy is the bite is a part of a bigger picture, right? Mm-hmm. So we are targeting and calibrating the bite's contribution to your symptoms. Okay. If there is a different source contributing to your symptoms, then we have to take that into consideration when we consider the outcome. Does that make sense?
Oh, yeah, you know? Yeah, because my allergies are probably a big thing. I didn't know that there are different subsets of Meniere's. Uh-huh. And yeah. I had been participated in the conference last week that they had on vestibular issues and everything. That was the first thing I'd ever heard about different subsets of Meniere's.
Sure.
And it was like...
You're trying to classify it.
Yeah, and it was like, wow, allergies, that's right up my...
Yeah.
Yeah. So. I'm allergic to penicillin. I'm allergic to...
Me too.
Contrast for CT scans.
Yeah. The moving target is another part of the complexity here because we're dealing with muscle imbalance per se as related to the bite. And once we change the bite, that tense muscle needs a couple of days to chill out. It's been overworked chronically for all this time, and it's necessary to do a follow-up, but it's also necessary before that follow-up to give the muscles enough time to respond so that they've achieved their new kind of baseline before taking the next iteration of the bite calibration. So the majority of it is done at the beginning, and that's when you can expect to brace yourself for the worst, because in those first 24, 48 hours after that initial bite adjustment, mm-hmm. that's when your muscles are going to be finding their balance.
Are we chewing my value?
As they're doing that, that's typically when a lot of Meniere's disease patients will have the roughest road on the way to recovery, but it's the nature of the process. Okay. So it's like, grab a hold of something, brace yourself for a couple of days. I do like to request a 72-hour feedback log after that first appointment. So when we have you set up for that, we'll talk about it some more here today, but once we have you set up for that first initial bite adjustment, we need to have a driver, we need to be prepared for a rough night or two. And then also all of the symptoms that you experience in those first 72 hours are going to be critical in helping me to diagnose the response that your head and neck muscles are having and how that affects the next step of the process. Okay. And typically after that second visit, it's by that point you've kind of gotten the hang of it and things start to make a little bit more sense. But it's a process that we will walk you through and make sure that we've answered all of your questions along the way up to and including after all that.
Oh, I buy vomit bags in bulk. So, yeah, I've got plenty of those. That's no problem.
Okay. So the first step is going to be for Veronica to take a trios image of your mouth. So she's going to use a wand and take a digital impression. That'll be helpful because at the end, when I come back in and we measure your bite, I'll be able to show you your teeth and how the forces on your teeth are showing up on the T-scan data. Okay. And then I will also translate that into the diagnosis of your muscles so that you have a muscle diagnosis, a TMJ diagnosis, a malocclusion diagnosis by the end of today's appointment. Okay. The joint vibration analysis is just headphones that go over your ears and you open and close. Okay. We'll walk you through that too. We're also taking measurements of your range of motion, how far you can open, slide sideways, forwards. We can expect to have multiple visits over the course of the next several weeks. Each of those visits is going to be, the first one is 2 hours. Each of those visits afterwards is going to be 1 hour, where you come in, we check your bite, and if there is 1 or 2 spots that we're paying attention to, whether it be in just enclosure bite, left motion, right motion, or forward motion, we'll walk you through that step by step.
Okay.
Okay? Ready? Any other questions?
Not for me.
Good? Okay, let's go on
Let's
over.
do it.
Follow me. So we've had how many DTR sessions now?
2.
2 total.
Yes.
Okay.
With adjustments, yeah.
And the last one was 6 weeks ago.
Yes.
Okay. How have you been?
I have. It's been an interesting journey.
Yep.
The bumps and sways. Bumps are the like, whoa, and sways are like this.
Okay.
Redefining the terminology.
I like that. I might use that. Bumps and sways. Okay.
Yeah, bumps and sways. I still have some sways every once in a while. It just depends. Have I eaten something, or am I doing something where I'm pushing myself too hard, or something like that.
Or if you're stressed, maybe.
Maybe stress. Yeah, that definitely could be part of it. But the bumps I've had, just little bumps. I haven't had the freight trains. The freight trains are the big ones with the vertigo and the throwing up and laying down and sweating and everything. I haven't any of those.
That all sounds like a drop attack.
Okay, well, if it's a drop, okay, we're going to rephrase that. I haven't had a drop attack.
Okay.
And everything.
You call that a freight train?
I call that a freight train.
I like it. Okay.
Okay.
We'll go with that.
So I've been watching the weeks, because I'd said, when I was here last time, I said, I can back count when all this started, and it happens about every 6 weeks.
Okay.
So this past weekend was the 6th.
Sure was.
Wait. And so that, I tried to get a lot of rest. If I felt tired, okay, I'm going to go lay down, whatever, because that's usually a sign that maybe something's building up.
And I did notice that in some of your feedback since last time, it did say that you've been sleepy, and
Sure.
sleepiness was a part of your experience?
Yes, that's part of my experience.
Okay.
So this past week, tried to get as much rest as I could. I had, when I have the dropper track or freight train, it happens. There's no warning. It just comes. And one of the major things is I sweat a lot and everything. And twice this past week, I started sweating, but not like a flop sweat, not like it happens and everything. The first time it only lasted for about a minute, and then it went away, and I had no vertigo. And then the second time, it was about 30 seconds, 2 days later, 30 seconds and everything, but no vertigo. So I think that's very positive, because I don't sweat like that unless I'm going to have the freight train.
Interesting.
So
you feel it coming on, but it doesn't hit.
Yeah, it's like, oh, there's a sign. I should, if I'm throwing up, it's like, if it's coming, it's just like, okay, I'm going to be throwing up because I'm sweating. This is going to happen.
Sure.
And everything. And none of that's happened. I haven't had the vertigo. I haven't had the sweating. I mean, the throwing up or the nausea and everything. There was one time last week when I did take a nausea pill, because I thought, I want to get a little ahead of this. We had a graduation. Son graduating from college and everything, and I wanted to be ahead of it.
Absolutely.
And so, but I took a lorazepam today.
Okay.
But I'm not really taking the lorazepams and doing my vestibular stuff religiously, and doing it every day, and trying to add more things onto it to help me get stronger. But I was really encouraged last week that, I'm sweating, but I'm not. There's nothing else. I don't have to run for the lorazepam. I don't have to run because once it's a freight train, it's not. Nothing helps.
It's like you said, it just hits you, and there's nothing you can
There's
do.
nothing I can do.
When was the last time you had the freight train?
For that April the 3rd.
After our first DTR session, or was yes?
Yes. Okay. Yes, because we had it, came for evaluation, and then it came the 23rd. The 23rd, because I'd gone to my ENT and been tested and everything, and we were thinking about doing the gentamicin, and he gave me the steroid shot. Mm-hmm. That didn't do nothing for the freight train. Nothing. Absolutely didn't help at all. So I came to see you after the steroid shot, and that was when we had our first one, I think.
Our first bite adjustment.
Yeah.
Okay. So recalling that Saturday, I remember that y'all shared that you were out and about, and it happened around 3 o'clock.
Yeah.
Can you take me through that in detail so that I can kind of frame it in my own mind?
Okay. We were at a trampoline park with our grandkids.
The irony.
But vision things have never bothered me.
Great.
That is not one of my components of Meniere's. I know other people it affects in a different way. Mm-hmm. Vision does not bother me.
Okay.
As far as motion or quick motion, if I feel like it's getting then I stop. I'll look at focus on something else. It's like these past weeks. If I've been feeling like a little bumpy, it's like get up, move around, go focus on something else.
Okay. And
that helps, and it stops and everything. But that particular time, thank heavens they had nice comfy couches to sit on, and I was sitting there, and it was like, oh no.
It happened while you were sitting down?
Oh yeah, it happened while I was sitting down. Yeah, I've never had one.
Were you eating?
Pardon?
Were you eating when that happened?
No.
Okay.
No. I've never had, when the freight trains come, I've never been standing up. It's always been sitting down. So, but this one was, it was like, oh no. And so I grabbed my lorazepam and stuck it under, my tongue, and then I told my husband, I said, "Here, get the nausea stuff," and it fell in the chair, in the couch, and we couldn't find it.
Oh, wow. How about that?
So it was like, okay. So, and then it was just complete. I'm trying to stay vertical, sitting up. I have a sweater, thank God. I had my vomit bag because I had my purse, and I was throwing up and having the sweater over it because I could not walk. I couldn't go anywhere. There was just no movement. And did that for a little while, sweat like a crazy person.
And you're sitting at a table the whole time?
Oh, no, and in a couch, in a corner, thank God.
In a couch, in a corner, okay.
Yeah. And then it got to the point where it's like, I have to lay down. I can't even stay vertical anymore.
Do you know how long it was before you felt like you had to lay down?
45 minutes.
Oh, I see. Okay, so you were fighting it for 45 minutes.
I was fighting it. I was.
Okay. Yeah.
And then it was lay down.
And how long did you lay there?
At least an hour and a half.
Another hour and a half?
Yeah. With my vomit bag and with my sweater over my face so the little kids won't see her. Oh, look at that old grandma. She's just hurling everywhere. So they tried to get me up once. He had a young man who was trying to help me stand because they had a wheelchair. And they were hoping they could put me in the wheelchair and just get me out.
Sure.
And they lifted me up, and I said, I can't do it. I cannot stand. I cannot stand. And I was afraid I was going to fall, truly just fall.
Sure. And
so I laid back down.
We all know that falling can lead to all kinds of other
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Falling is the last thing you want to do.
No. And so I laid there for a while longer, and then finally I said, let me sit up.
Quietly. Yeah.
Quietly and
gradually.
Yeah. And they were wonderful, and they gave me ice. They gave me wet rags for my face. They more trash bags to throw up into. And finally, when I could sit back up again, that was about 5:30, 5:45. Yeah. I could sit up, and I sat there for 10, 15 minutes and said, let me try and get in the chair. And
before getting in to ride home, right?
Yeah.
The vehicle.
Yeah. And so they put me in the wheelchair and they got me down. I had to go down a couple of steps. And all these Oklahoma grandmas were going, what in the world? She's got a disease. Yeah. And put me back in the chair and got me in the car. And he took me back to the Airbnb where we were staying, and I literally went to bed and I slept just I don't know how long.
As much as you could, yeah.
As much as I could, but the really unsteadiness, like I got up in the middle of the night to go to the bathroom and I was having to hold on to the walls. Mm-hmm. It's a little house too, so that was good. The walls were very close. And did that, and then the next morning we had driven, and so we just got my pillow and set it up to where the back seat was where I was going to sleep, and I climbed into the back seat and he drove, I don't know how many hours while I was asleep.
Maybe an hour and a half the first time and another hour and a half the second time you slept.
Yeah. But or I was laying in the back seat.
Okay.
Yeah.
And that was the freight trains. Is that the last freight train that you had?
That was the last freight train.
You haven't had one since?
I haven't had one since.
Okay, that's great.
Yeah. Believe me.
Yeah. And I kind of forgot, but going back to before we started DTR therapy with you, how frequent were those same episodes?
Like I said, every 6 weeks, because I can count back.
Okay.
I could count back and say, okay, I had this one, because in February I had like 5 in 5 days, like 2 1 day, one
right before
break.
You came in.
Yeah, right before he came in.
So it was getting more
it was
frequent and
getting,
more intense.
it was like, okay, this is stuff that's not working. The drugs aren't working. You know, this is not working. I got to do something else.
Okay.
And then I said, I'm going to.
So it sounds like we've unraveled some of the problems.
I think so.
Obviously, if you're still having that, I would call it prodromal. I don't know if there's a better word for it, but when you kind of feel that sweat coming on, it'd be nice if we could get rid of that too.
Yeah, it would be nice.
Yeah. Okay.
You know, I'm willing to try to get rid of all, get as much as I can done, but I considered an improvement that I had the little sweats, but it went away and I didn't have anything else that happened.
Good.
And everything, because the sweating was always a sign, okay, you're going to throw up.
So
That's
how
it.
would you feel if we stopped right now and we didn't do any more? Would you be satisfied?
No.
All right. I love that. That's great. And why?
Why? Because I want to see how far I can go.
Okay, wonderful.
I don't want to, you know, we talked about all the medications that, like in the Meniere support groups, and they're always talking about their medications and how side effects and, you know, and things like that. And I thought, I don't want to go down that road if I don't have to.
Sure.
So if we can go.
If there's any more fine tuning to do, the data will find it.
Okay, that's fine. That's fine.
So rest assured, I don't do any bite adjustments without the data telling me that it's justified in that particular spot on that particular tooth. So, have you had any other symptoms, head and neck muscle strain or tension or imbalances or anything else like that?
Imbalances as far as I take a cane with me in a lot of places now. I've got a cane out in the car simply because if I'm walking around and I start to feel unsteady, if I'm out, you know, then I have it there. It's a psychological.
If you need it, yeah.
Yeah, you know, if I have to grab onto him, but then I got the cane for the other arm and everything else, it's just gives me a little psychological reassurance that
absolutely.
If something is going to start, then I can help
to get through it.
And get back to the car and lay down in the car. You know, I've got my little in the back of my car now. I've got a pillow and vomit bag and wet wipes, and you know, I've got my space set up.
Because you've been living with this for how long?
Since 19, but when I was diagnosed at the end of 19, then COVID came.
Yeah, of course.
And then I was diagnosed with melanoma.
I see.
And I had a thing right here, and I had to go to MD Anderson and do this. I didn't have to have all the chemo. That wasn't necessary because we caught it really, really early.
Yeah.
But then it was the scans, you know, every 3 months. And honest, I do not remember much about the Meniere's being so much of an issue during that time because there was COVID and because there was melanoma, and I was thinking, you know, I was focused on other things. And it was only after, I remember, I think I told you I'd gone to have dental work done. I think it was in 23. And then things started not being so great and everything.
Yeah.
And that's...
Hopefully that's behind us. Like I said, we may have some more fine tuning to do. I wouldn't be surprised at all, but...
I did go to my audiologist.
Good. And
this ear is stable. It's not great, but it's stable. It's not, you know, I can hear pretty good. This ear, I've lost some more hearing in it. That's just the way it's going to be.
You've lost more hearing.
Yes.
On your left side.
Yes.
Since we started the BITE calibration.
No, not since we. This was from the last audiologist that I had in 24 to 26.
I see.
So I've lost more hearing in this.
I'm going to be interested to follow that in the coming months and years to see if or how that changes.
Would you like to have a copy of the audiologist stuff, like from 24 and 26? And
wouldn't hurt. I mean, there's no rush.
Okay.
But just for documentation, and of course, I'm optimistic.
I think I told you that when I was seeing my ENT, when we were talking about maybe doing gentamicin at one point, that when they did the vestibular testing and all that, that I still had enough vestibular function in this ear to not make me a candidate for gentamicin. So that was very encouraging. It's just, it's not like, okay, this ear's...
It doesn't seem like the worst case scenario.
Yeah, it's not the worst case scenario. True. So gentamicin is probably off the table for quite some time. If what we're doing now,
And get you even better.
it can get me, better. And I'm still going to I haven't seen her since I saw her after I saw you in April, but the upper cervical
Yes.
and everything.
Okay.
So I'm still using her.
That'll be good to get feedback on as well.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
For sure. That procedure that they do can help to relax the muscles
Right.
on the other side of adjusting the bite.
Right.
A lot of those muscles coordinate together so that if you have a bad bite, it causes a muscle imbalance where there's extra tone or tension, and of course they all coordinate together. So right underneath your TMJ is where those cervical discs are. And if there's a muscle imbalance there one way or another, it can do all kinds of things.
I used to have the ping pong balls in my shoulders forever and ever. Ask him. I always had
Knots, like muscle knots?
muscle knots right here, and after the first adjustment, they've gone away. I mean, they come back a little bit every once in a while, stress or whatever,
Sympathetics, yeah.
and everything. But I don't have to have. He doesn't have to use the machine that pounds on you,
Right.
or the TENS unit, and I'm zapping everything.
Yeah, for sure.
So
That's great.
yeah, so
I'm glad to hear it.
combinations of whatever will be helpful. I'm willing to do it all.
I think we're getting pretty close. I have one more question for you.
Yeah.
You been sleeping okay?
Sleep comes in, it's like when I'm building up to that 6 weeks, I don't sleep so great at night, but I'll sleep, I can go back to sleep.
During the day?
During the day, hey, I can drop like a rock and everything. So it's not a long periods of sleep at night. After I have an episode and I have to sleep a lot, during the day and everything, and then after a couple of days, I sleep better at night.
Yeah.
And everything, that because I guess it's over with and I've relaxed, but it's like a build up and then you gotta
Sleep it off as best you can.
I'm not ashamed to go, all right,
Sure.
go into the nap.
Eat when you're hungry, sleep when you're tired, right?
Yeah.
The
Work in my
wisdom of
garden
the
when I
ages.
can.
Absolutely.
And all that.
So, and then as a follow-up to the sleep question, in the mornings, do you feel like your symptoms are different in the mornings than as the day goes on? That might have been an easier question on the front end before we did the first two DTR sessions, but
What would you think?
hard to say.
What would you think? I don't. You probably. He's okay.
It's hard to say, I guess.
Yeah, it's kind of hard to say. The times when I would be sitting in my chair in the morning, and like when I first got up, and I'm looking at my iPad, and I have a little breakfast or whatever, and I would get to feeling a little nauseous just sitting there. I don't have that anymore.
Ah, okay, great.
So that's a big help.
Yeah, for sure.
Because I'd start wringing my hands like, oh, am I going to have to get in a chair?
What kind of day is this gonna
Yeah,
be?
but
Okay,
it I'm going back on my allergy shots too. And so I think that might be a piece of the puzzle that
could
helps.
help us.
Yeah, because of my sinuses
Sure, okay.
and when they get
Yeah.
I haven't started that yet, but they've ordered my stuff, my shots, one in each arm. So
All right.
we'll I'll jump into the pool and whatever it's got going on.
Well, okay, I have another question. Your TMJs, any popping or clicking in either of your
There's still some
TMJs?
popping on this side. Like if I go,
Yeah.
I hear this
Okay.
more than I don't hear this, and maybe that's because I can't hear much at all over here.
And so I don't know what we're going to find, but today's appointment should be just some fine tuning
Okay.
along the same lines of what we've already done.
Okay.
We'll see how it goes.
I'll put a big star on every day that I go past 6 weeks on my calendar.
I love it. That's great.
Yay. I'm a former teacher, so everybody gets a star.
Much respect.
So, you know, I've been happy with
Good.
the progress so far.
So far, so good.
Yeah, I'm
Excellent.
not quite as hyper vigilant about, oh, this is a twinge, or oh, this is a.
That's good. Yeah, the goal is to get you back to normal where you don't have to think about those kind of things.
Yeah.
Get about your day without the what if.
Yeah, it's just like, you know, if I feel like I'm a little vertigo-y or I'm doing some bumps, get up, go do something else.
Yeah.
You know, focus on something else. There's something in the garden you can do. There's
Right.
some fly you can squash, or, you know, flowers to pick or whatever. So
Whatever the day brings.
whatever the day brings.
Yeah.